Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Spotlight with the K-Scope. Today I am here with author and entrepreneur Yahaya Baruwa. How are you doing today, Yahaya?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, first off, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am an author, entrepreneur as you said, and originally I came from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Kano State, and I came to Canada, Toronto in 2001. And with the whole thing, being an author, that originated while I was in my second year at York University.
Okay.
My dad and I had a misunderstanding. That battle between dream and tradition when you come to a new country and try to, keep your tradition, but at the same time try to uphold a new one. My dad thought I was going to abandon school to write a book. So he says, focus on school, don't be distracted.
Okay.
I was a stubborn kid. I misunderstood him to mean don't do anything but school.
Okay.
So I wrote the book in secret.
So what exactly did you go to school for?
I went to York University for psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me like the timeline. So how did you fall? How did you know that you wanted to write? What exactly inspired you? Or was it like the other way around? Like was it that argument with your dad that sparked you to think about writing? Or did you already have that niche for writing already?
It was something that I was shoved into, and that misunderstanding with my dad was a tipping point. And I'll explain. When I first, in 2009, how we set resolutions sometimes,
yeah.
Right? I'm gonna do this year, that. And then for myself, I decided I want to do something that will touch, move, and inspire 1 million people with the courage to want to reach for their ambition. That thing that they've been putting off for so long until later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know what that was. And then eventually I arrived to write a book, but I didn't know what to write about. And I was scared to write a book. And so my dad had that misunderstanding, and I'm like, I'm gonna write a book. And that was partly me being stubborn, but at the same time being determined. So I wrote the book in secret while I kept going to school.
For psychology.
Exactly. And I did graduate from York, and I kept going from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my whole entrepreneurship came into play as well.
Okay. Okay, so tell me about the book itself. So you started writing the book, right? You had the argument with your dad, started writing the book. Tell me about that part, the introduction aspect. So how did that come into play? How did you pick the title, Struggles of the Dreamer? How did you come about with a battle between the dream and tradition? Because I know when I read that part, I was like, okay, back at home, for sure, this is it. And they say if you go to school, medicine, law, accountancy, that's what you're doing. That tradition, those traditional jobs, that's what you're gonna do. And you're like, I want to be a musician. I want to do this.
Like, you see what? Not in my house.
So how did you? What was the introduction? So how did you say, okay, I'm gonna write a book. This is the tipping point for me. This is the name. Right? This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm gonna go about it. This is what I'm gonna get my content, right? How did that go about? Tell me about that.
So with the content in itself, the storyline, it was more a combination of me venting.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it was me telling a story of what was going on and what I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first thing you'll encounter when you read the book, and you'll see how, first, the book is, I should have said this earlier, it is mainly about this character who is supposed to be a farmer like everyone else. But instead of going for tradition, he decides to risk everything to walk his own path. Now you can imagine the conflict and the challenge, right?
Yes.
And that's where I came up, and that's where the whole thing, battle between the dream and tradition, originated from. And in the title, the battle between the dream and tradition, and struggles of the dreamer, is something that I felt resonated with me, and
resonates with everybody
exactly
else out there. Yeah.
Right, because struggles of the dreamer, we all have dreams, big or small, and we all struggle
every day.
Exactly. So it is out of that struggle that we thrive and make the dream a reality. And that's where I think Struggles of a Dreamer captures exactly the essence of what the story is about. And the battle between the dream and tradition, it just sums it all up.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's just
tradition wants you to do this, but you want to do that. As a perfect compromise, as you'll see in the book, and as I've done with my father, I use tradition as a great gateway to rise and then build upon my dream.
Exactly.
And make my dream happen. And that's one thing that, I want to also help a lot of parents and a lot of other people who are in my shoes, in your shoes, and other different experiences in life, to understand that tradition don't necessarily have to change. They can mesh very well because they make who you are.
How did your father feel about the book when it came out?
Oh, he was very surprised. In a good way.
Okay.
I mean, he was very surprised.
Because when I heard that when he I was like, oh my god, I'm here.
I know, like,
I'm here some Yahaya.
Yahaya's running away, But no, he was very surprised in a good way because, I mean, in retrospect, I get where my dad is coming from. And that's another thing that comes about with maturity and having an open line of communication. But, to answer your question, he was very surprised. I didn't tell anybody about writing a book. Nobody knew. After having that misunderstanding with my father, I thought, if I have to explain my dream to every single person, I probably won't do it. So I kept it a secret.
That's true. You have to trust yourself.
Exactly. And that was terrifying. But I went with it anyways. And so after the book was printed, I showed my dad, he's like, wow, how did you do it? You were so busy in school. How
did you do it?
Yeah, so what he was saying is we sacrificed a lot in bringing the family over. We want you to make it worth it for yourself and for your family. Do school and then do whatever else. And then do whatever else you want to do
after.
Which is what he was saying. But that communication barrier, posed by yours truly, me, I didn't ask my dad, what do you mean? I just...
You just felt like, okay, you don't want me to do what I want. It's normal. Like, I feel exactly the same way. It's almost like back at home, like, we need to understand that our parents want the best for us, right?
Exactly.
I mean, also, where they come from, it's not like these jobs that they always toss at us, these doctors and stuff, it's not like those jobs are like the only ones that are there. It's just like those ones are the ones that make the most money back at home. So when they give us, they need to go to school for that. They mean go make money, right?
Exactly. Survival. You gotta survive. And thrive.
Exactly. So when we come here and it's more of a passion, it's more of, okay, so this, but I can't really go to school for that because that's not where my passion lies, right? And it's hard most times it's hard for them to understand. But when, like, you're an entrepreneur, when they see that your passion has turned into some sort of income, then it's understanding to them, right? Absolutely. So that's why that brings me to my next question. So how are you able to turn struggle of a dreamer into,
that's like the $1 million question. Everybody always asks me, you're an author, oh that's great. What's your part-time job? I'm like, come again? So, I mean, it's a fair question. And
I'm trying to understand what do you mean.
Right. And like, for me, I thought about it from the very beginning. I mean, being an entrepreneur and dare I say, being a Nigerian, we're very enterprising individuals, people. Business-minded individuals. Absolutely, and we love the good life. That's just what it is. And so for myself, I thought about it from the very beginning. And my mom always says, if you want anything done, you gotta own it. Hire and work with people who are better than you. But at the end of the day, if you own it, I guess from a business point of view, if you own the equity in it, you have the creative freedom and the creative rights to do it in the way you want to take it and work at it. And so I decided, instead of going with a publisher, I started my own publishing house, Tapping House Publishing.
That's yours?
Yes. So I write, produce, and market my own books. And things I can't do, I hire other people to do, like editing, cover design and layout, and stuff like that, and of course printing. So it's something that it has been a lot of hard work, but it has been extremely rewarding as well, and I'm very grateful for that, for sure.
That's amazing. That's actually good to hear. So tell me about the book itself. So this is part 1.
Yes. And so Struggles of a Dreamer is the first of a trilogy.
Okay.
This book, as I was saying earlier, it carries on the story of the beggar. It's about this character who's supposed to be a farmer, but instead of going for tradition, he risked it all to walk his own path. And that story starts on the streets of New York City with a beggar. It goes to Lagos, Nigeria, Toronto, and then goes up to a fictional world. And the second book in the series, Tunde, A Man of Lost Ambition, carries on the story of the other character within the first book. So you get to see what happens to him.
Okay.
And part 3, which will be out next year, carries on the story of the beggar's wife in Nigeria. So you get to see what happens to each
So
of
he
them.
had a wife in the beginning.
Yes.
And the wife stuck through until...
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because each character is featured in their own book. But in the book previous, they are just trailing. So in the first book, you get to find out what happens with the farmer. But Tunde is just a background introduction to that character. In part 2, he gets his own story where he's featured. You get to get his complete story.
Okay, so let's divert a little bit away from the book. So what else do you do on the side?
Well,
when you're not writing or thinking about what to write.
I know. Sorry. I'm actually, I'm starting to be very active in my own community.
Okay.
And I've recently been invited to join the board of the Canadian Project. And, I brought a little something here to show you one of the, things that they're doing in the community. Something wonderful in Canada as well.
You call it the Canadian board.
Oh no, the Canadian Project.
What is it about?
So Canadian Project is, it is an organizational, it is an organization that provides, a platform for organizations that are doing good in Canada as a whole. So in the areas of fostering growth and development of different, people, such minorities. For example, one of the recent projects they did was to create they had a project about making scarves.
Okay.
The Canadian scarf. They were the first to make, the first ever Canadian hijab. And it's something that, they sold and they raised money to, help foster the settlement of the Syrian refugees that were coming in. And there's an example of what they do. And I've been fortunate to be able to sit on the board and, be able to share my own thoughts and experiences as an immigrant from Nigeria, and being able to be fortunate to benefit from what this country has to offer. I'm happy and fortunate to be able to share that with others who are new to the country.
That's amazing.
And the Canadian project allowed me to do that.
That's great. That's actually a great thing to be part of.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. Okay, well, let's wrap up this very interesting, moving, inspiring, so many words interview. Where can we find your books?
Okay, so with Struggles of a Dreamer, Tunde, the books are available in chapters for those who live in Canada.
Okay.
Chapters Indigo, and as well for those who don't live in Canada, the book is available still everywhere. You can have it on your iPad, Kindle, iBook store, everywhere the ebooks are sold.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, and by the way, just insider information.
Oh my. Okay. What is it?
We're actually we're currently working on the screenplay for Tunde, A Man of Lost Ambition. So we are going to be creating a featured film.
A feature film.
A featured film.
A feature film.
That's right.
Tunde.
That's right.
A Man of Lost Ambition.
Absolutely.
So there's gonna be a feature film.
Yes.
That's going to actually be played with actors and stuff and all
Absolutely.
of that.
Yes. And I don't want to say any name yet, but we will be featuring an A-list Hollywood celebrity.
An A-list Hollywood celebrity.
Absolutely.
Can you give me like one more? I just have one more question.
What's that?
Is it a female or a male?
I get to it.
No. No, because I want to know if it's, because I know if it's male, then that's Tunde. Then that's Tunde.
Okay, fine. There will be definitely a male A-lister, and you know, a female A-lister as well.
From Hollywood?
But we don't know which one yet. And I don't want to say female yet because it could be from Hollywood or Nollywood.
Or Nollywood.
But we don't know yet.
Okay, but the Hollywood male A-lister is for sure.
Yeah.
So, but you don't want to tell me. But you could just tell me after. I mean, I promise. I'm not that kind of blogger. No? Mm-mm. I mean, I'm fine. It's not. Okay. It's okay.
What do you think? Should we trust her?
Trust me. I'm very excited. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
I want to be part of that. Let me know when, because I know there's gonna be a screening, right?
There will be a screening, yes, but you know, right now we're still in screenplay development phase.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take like years.
It's gonna take some time, and the probably reason why I don't want to say a name is that, you know what, the person could change. We might find somebody better.
Exactly.
They may not, you know,
they might
end up going
life
through
happens,
it.
true.
Exactly,
true.
but you know what?
It's exciting. I'm just excited.
Exactly. So
yeah.
you know, something that I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
and
that's you're seeing your dreams, your book turn into, you know, I'm just going, you know, I'm done. I ain't going to say nothing else. I'm just so excited. I'm actually so amped because when I see this on TV, I'm going to be literally screaming like, oh my God, yeah. What? Is that your book on there? Actually, that's amazing. That's great news. I'm so proud. That's actually, that's a great thing. That's a great thing to hear.
Thank you. And I also just wanted to, you know, say thank you.
No.
To you for having me on your show, and
no.
It's been an honor, and it's been fun. You're a great person.
Really?
Like a great big ball of energy. Like, can't be stopped. You're on Ben, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Yahaya.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. That was Yahaya Baruwa. Until next time, sleep easy.
She gonna read it.
Better read it. What?
I say one thing to the next generation of rhymers and poets and rappers. It would be this.